Hello friends, this is Jimmy Singh, broker owner of Supermax Realty, 647-961-2639. Friends, in today's video, I would like to discuss about real estate wealth creation and what is the millionaire investor mindset. So most of the wealthy people I work with, or most of the investors I follow, how do they perceive the risk and reward in the marketplace? And one thing, friends, I found out in my life is always focus on things that you can control and don't try to time the market. And in whether it's stock market or real estate, it's always time in the market, not timing the market. And second thing which I found in very successful real estate investors is they are comfortable with leverage. And leverage meaning, let's say you have 20% down and bank is giving you 80% mortgage, so the leverage is 1 to 4, right? Because they know that the money sitting idly in the saving account is not paying them anything. So they're okay with leverage, because they know the other alternative, that is saving, is 1% return. And another tool, friends, I like to share with you is a formula called Rule of 72. So what the Rule of 72 says is, if you want to double your money, you figure out what your return on investment and you divide 72. So let's say if you're getting 10% return in real estate, and you take 72 divide by 10 is 7.2 years. Which means, like, if you have to double your money, it will take 7.2 years, right? And the only thing I like to tell you is, guys, don't save, only invest. So what that means is, if you are a working person in Canada or you are self-employed person, obviously you have to have a saving or emergency funds. It can be 4 to 6 months sitting in your checking account or saving, irrespective how much return they're making, because you want to make sure, just like pandemic, if you're caught up unprepared, you have money to pass 4 or 6 months without getting stress, right? And in our society, friends, I found out that some people are okay borrowing on visa at 20%, 18%, 29%, but they don't understand the power of leverage or compounding. And they are uncomfortable borrowing at today's mortgage of 1.5% to create generational wealth. See, friends, our grandparents, some of them used to live in villages, and that time, hundreds of years ago or thousands of years ago, the wealthy person is one who has more cows, who have more sheep, who have more land, or who have more gold coins, right? So our mindset or mentality is still the same. Real estate is still used to store wealth. So if you want to create generational wealth and want a solid portfolio to withstand test of time, real estate obviously is there, right? Second thing, friends, I like to tell is, be conservative in what you can afford. So just because your friend bought a 900,000 house and it has gone up 100,000 in value, doesn't mean you have to push yourself and over leverage. I don't recommend to anybody. So in the morning, I was talking to a lovely couple. I sold them a townhouse few years back, and they called me since they have a baby on way. They want to ask me, Jimmy, how we can start now investing, right? So guys, if you see right now, Greater Toronto area market, Golden Horseshoe market, London, even as a matter of Kitchener-Waterloo or Windsor, Ottawa, you will notice townhouses, which is the middle market, is on tier. The reason is, before that, people either think, I'm going to buy a condo or a big house. But now the divergence between the price of a house and a condo is too much, and they can't raise a family in 500, 600 square feet units. Hence, if you Google some cities like Burlington, you will see plenty of assignment for sales, where people bought pre-construction condos, 1 bedroom, 500 square feet, and now the closing is coming up. They want to get rid of them, and they have hard time selling those smaller units. Why? Because people now are taking a longer perspective. They want to see they have 14, 15, 1800 square feet townhouse so they can work, and then they have a separate office or a kids area, right? So that is a market which is very strong. And I always tell them, my clients I speak in the morning, I tell them start small and, stay away from get rich overnight schemes or investments, right? I get tons of calls every week, investors asking me which is the good market, where do I invest, where I can make 30, 40% return. Guys, honestly, I can't predict. Nobody can, right? We can always look, hindsight is 2020. If you look at Windsor, it's up 34% or 30% since last year. London is up 25%, right? And this week, first week of January, I have seen a townhouse in North London going for 630. There was no comparables on that street, but still, somebody's paying that kind of money, right? So at the end of the day, I'm still seeing, 20, 50, 40 offers in today's market, even in GTA. Lot of my colleagues, they tell me how hard it is for them to buy anything, right? So at the end of the day, short-term trend is okay, but you can't make business decision on these things, right? So stop wasting time or skip watching news, guys. Don't look at listing ratios. Don't look at inventory of condos in downtown. It's not going to help your cause, right? Market can go up 10, 15, 20%. In a given year of 2021, it might, come down 10%. Who knows? I don't know. Nobody knows, right? So what happens is, guys, if you keep buying and flipping properties every second, third years, you have to understand you're leaving a lot of money on the table. You pay capital gain tax, you pay real estate commissions, you pay land transfer tax, lawyer fee, home inspection. So I recommend, most of my investors, what I do for myself, I buy, hold, long time. I try to pay it off. If need be down the line, I can refinance, I buy another property, right? So it's just rinse and repeat kind of things. Don't complicate, right? And say some of you are worried that the market is overheated in 2021, right? And so what are your options? Like if you are renting in Mississauga, Brampton, Richmond Hill, you're paying $2,500 in rent. So by the end of 2020, you'll be out $30,000 in rent. So if you live for 5 years in rental, you're out $150,000 or $100,000 in rent, right? So you are not getting ahead, friends. And you have to, take real estate as a wealth creation tool. You hold it for 15 years, 20 years, try to pay it off, and, don't worry about it. Because if you're sitting in sidelines, you're, missing a lot of, excellent years like last year or a couple of years where you have 20% return, right? And you don't lose money. So if you have a house, market comes down 10% and you're not selling, so it's not going to, create any, problem for you guys, right? And another thing I like to tell is create multiple streams of income. All the wealthy people I know, they have multiple sources of income. It might be real estate, it might be stocks, it might be bonds, it might be side hustle. So go for that, right? And stop listening to negative news or media predictions. Nobody knows what's going to happen this year or next year, right? And who knows, if you go to Toronto Real Estate Board, they will tell you that average single family home in 80s was 75,000 in Greater Toronto area. In 90s, the average price of a home in Toronto was $225,000. In 2010, it was $431,000. So nobody know, how, prices will do in future. And as I said, right now, the average price point is over $1 million. So which expert predicted in 2020, we will have 2040 offers and we will have the lowest interest of 1.2%, 1.3, 1.4%? No one, right? So here is what I can do. As far as the financial experts I met in my life, if you are 35-year-old professionals, you should have at least 2 times your income saved. You have to be responsible. Try to, save. I know it's hard, but those are the numbers somebody told me when I was very young. He said every 5 years, let's say by the time you're 40, you should have 3 times your income saved. And by the time you're 45, you should have 4 times. And by the time you're 65, you should have 8 times your income or salary saved, right? See, most of the expert, they always, make a calculated guess. So last year when everything was, in shambles in, March, April lockdown, it was easy to make prediction that the market is going to crash. Lot of, people who are in real estate, meaning like CMHC people or lot of bankers, they said, oh, market is going to crash. But the people who just pause without taking action, market just bounced back and now it went up 25-30% in some markets, right? So you can't be right. It's always 50-50, right? Always keep positive mindset. Try to pay extra debt off, and then, you want to make sure if you have 2-4 properties paid off in 15-20 years, you can enjoy the cash flow in retirement, right? And just like people build, good $1 million portfolio. So let's say if you are a 35-year working professional, here is what you should do. You have to understand, if you have a kid, to raise a kid, there was a research done, average, cost of raising a single kid in Canada is $250,000. And average cost to send a kid to college is $100,000, right? And you have to start making, guys, $1 million stock portfolio. Maybe you can buy some dividend stocks like banks, REITs, oil, or, good tech companies, or get some ETFs, right? Or some emerging countries. I have some, portfolio like China stock, because for the next 5 years, China is investing heavily in technologies. So I have some ETF, they just focus on big technology companies in China, right? So anytime the market crashes, I'll put my money to use. So that is the best way to go about it, right? So last question I want to ask in this my video blog is, how much money do we need to save on retirement? So in the morning when I was sitting with the couple, they asked me, Jimmy, how much money we need? Because most of the people, they don't go to financial planner. That's another thing, right? They might put money in the saving account. That's about, business planning. So if you're making, guys, 100,000 income with 2.5% inflation, you have to understand the value of money decreases every year. So the same 100,000 in 10 years, if you have to retire, you have to, it's equivalent to $128,000. So in 20 years, the same 100,000 can buy you goods worth 164, meaning like the value is decreasing. So 164,000 in 20 years is same as 100,000 now. In 30 years, $210,000 is equivalent to 100,000 now, right? In 40 years, it's going to be $268,000. Basically, you have to earn that kind of money to buy, what you buy for 100,000, right? So everything is getting more expensive. And say, if you want to retire in 30 years, right? So you want to, let's say, make 100,000. So in 10 years, you need to earn $210,000. And if you see at that time, let's say you're a teacher, you're going to get social security of $85,000 in your retirement. So if you subtract 210 minus 85,000, so when you retire in 30 years, in that year, you need to come up with $125,000 to sustain the same lifestyle. And most of the financial planners, they have a rule which is called 4% rule, that how much money you need to withdraw from your saving, so you don't run out by the time you're 95. So if you take 4% rule, guys, you need to have, let's say you have $1 million. So if you withdraw 4%, that is $40,000 per year, right? And if you, let's say, want to draw 50,000, so if you take $50,000, that is what you need in your retirement. You divide by 4%, it means you need $1.25 million by the time you retire. So if you want to retire on $75,000, you divide by 4% withdrawal rate, that is 1.875 million. That is how much money you need, right? So 4% rule is very important. You can go online, read some blogs on it. And as I said, if let's say on the first year, you have $1.25 million, and that is your first year of retirement. And if you withdraw 4%, it means first year you withdraw $50,000. So what happened in next year? So let's say if the inflation is 3% and you again have to withdraw at 4% withdrawal rate, you need to withdraw 51,500. So in the third year at 3% inflation, you have to withdraw 53,000, $40. What it means is every year with inflation, you have to, withdraw more and more and more. And the biggest concern most Canadians have, they will be their money won't outlive them. So they will be short of money and they end up working at Walmart or, those kind of job which require very minimal skill, because they'll be out of a job market for a few years, and that is all they can make, right? So guys, it is very, very critical that you and most of the millennials, you plan all these things. They are very important. And let's say, for example, in today's market, if you have 65 year age, and let's say your house is paid off, you have no extra debts, to live in a big city, you need at least $3,500 to $3,800, meaning you need to have $50,000 coming from somewhere, right? And that is, either you can basically, tap into your RSP, or you can, have government funds. It can survive. But I find sometimes people go into reverse mortgages where they have to, keep borrowing against a paid off house to pay for their daily needs, right? So guys, here is a rule of thumb I will leave in this small video. If you're 25-year-old professional working, try to save at least 15% income and invest. And if you're 35, try to save 17 to 20% income. Try to live on a rest of, whatever is left. And if you're 35, try to save at least 25% of your income, and then again make better choices, right? So buy a smaller house. As I said, right now in the marketplace, the middle housing is on tier, like a townhouses, stacked townhouses. They are in great demand. And moving forward, instead of buying $1.5 million, $1.4 million house, move to another city, buy a nice big townhouse, raise a family there, and then whatever money is left, put the money to use. Because if you have 3-4 properties and each property is growing $20,000, $30,000, and then you have principal pay down, those are like a servants. So you have 3 servants working for you if you have 3 properties, right? So that is my take, guys. And I wish your family health. I know it's lockdown. I just, I was outside my house looking around. There was nobody on my street. So I just thought to, put some positive thoughts in there. And there's a lot of things going on in our marketplace. We still see 20, 30, 40 offers everywhere. And I just want to tell you, don't be scared and get frozen and sit on the sidelines. Be proactive, buy real estate, put on autopilot. And as I said, real estate, the biggest money maker is principal pay down. And with today's interest, guys, you can't go wrong. Live within your means, own real estate for 10, 15, 20 years. You will do fine. Till next time, to your success, God bless.